Hello, Same Biz Pod listeners. I want to thank you for tuning in to the Same Business Different Day podcast. Zeke and I are so excited about how fast our podcast has been growing, and we know we have you, our fans, to thank for it. You guys are amazing. We want you to know that we will not stop creating. We have great episodes to come, as well as some special events and other treats planned. For those of you who haven't, we would really appreciate if you'd like and subscribe to our podcast. It does so much for our ratings and puts us in the position to share more with you. Today, we have a special episode. We know that so many of you are having difficult times during the holidays, so we've invited Laiana and Curtis to give us some ideas to add a little extra cheer to our homes this season. This episode is to remind you that even in our quarantined and virtual state, the holiday season is still about love and making memories. Happy holidays, everyone.
All right. Good afternoon and welcome back to the Same Business Different Day podcast. First, I want to introduce my co-host, Alyssa Lee Good. For those just meeting her, she is an avid reader. We tend to get the books recommended by the guests, but I want everybody to know that if these guests today, I'm not going to give away who they are yet, but if these guests recommend any books, I'm keeping them. You'll find out why later. We are joined by true artists today. I'm trying not to give it away already, but it's so hard for me to talk about them without talking about what they do. Let's just say I'm personally inspired when I see their work, and even more importantly, their teamwork. We want to welcome Curtis and Laiana Bechtel to the podcast.
Hi.
Oh, yay.
How you doing, Alyssa?
I'm having a great day.
Good.
I'm excited to try that cake.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Can you say the rules of the game for us, please?
I would love to.
All right.
So this podcast, we have just a minor rule where we're here to talk about you and your business, but we're not going to immediately say what you do. So we're going to get to know you first as people, and then at some point when it feels right, we'll reveal your business and get talking about that.
Okay.
Yeah. How about we talk about some early memories? You guys remember what you wanted to be when you grew up? Where did you guys grow up?
I grew up in San Marcos, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Local. Yeah.
Yeah. I was born in Nevada, but then we moved to Southern California when I was like 2. So I've been here like the whole time, as long as I remember.
Awesome.
But
Not a bad place to grow up.
no, it's not. And it's really interesting because we now live in San Marcos again. We used to live in Carlsbad.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really interesting to see how much it's grown and how much has changed.
Developed.
Because yeah, it's really moving on up there.
Right.
Like it's impressive. Yeah.
Awesome. How about you, Curtis? Where'd you go?
I grew up in Riverside, so
Okay.
not too far away.
Okay.
And I went to school at Cal State Fullerton and then moved to San Diego, about 12 years ago.
Yeah. You remember what you wanted to be when you grew up?
I wanted to be like wear a suit and tie and be behind a desk. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what, but I always wanted to be like a suit and tie kind of guy. And now I'm not a suit and tie kind of guy. So
Maybe you saw it on TV or something.
I don't know.
You,
I think I read a book and I cannot remember the book. I can't even remember the author. And my grandma was really into it. And in it, like I would reread the books that she would just read and then hand to me. And I don't know. One book was like inspiring, made me want to be like, I don't know, an accountant or whatever.
That's amazing.
I know.
Inspired to be an accountant by a book.
I don't know. Or just like a really nice corporate desk and
Yeah.
a corporate person.
They seem like important people.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do it for a living. It doesn't make me more important. Trust me. I would love to do what you do. How about you, Laiana?
I wanted to work with animals always. I wanted to be a vet at one point, a wildlife photographer. For the most part, there was a brief moment in high school where I wanted to be a chef, very brief.
Okay.
But yeah, it was always all about the animals.
Alyssa works with animals.
Not officially, not professionally, but
No.
yeah, I trained some horses here and
Oh,
there.
fun. I had horses too.
Did you really?
Yeah.
They're great animals.
They are. They truly are. And our daughter actually has a steer in the FFA program, which I was in when I was in high school. And so it's really great to be back around that again because this is only in the last month or so that she's gotten it. So it's been
great.
fun to be kind of background. It has,
now.
yeah, me too. Yeah. And it's been like, it definitely makes me want to go back to horses really bad. Like the smells of the hay and stuff. I was like, oh, I miss that life.
A steer, that's a little different. That's
Yeah.
a different kind of work.
Yeah, for sure. But it's good. It's teaching her good stuff.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah.
What's the FFA program?
The Future Farmers of America.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a program that you can do I think you can actually do it before high school, but I didn't do it until high school.
Okay.
And it basically just teaches you that you got to work for it. You know, you have to keep a record book of how much you spend on the animal and how much time you spend with the animal. And at the end, you have to show the animal at fair for not only showmanship, so the judge is judging you, but then market. So then they're judging the actual animal. And so, you know, the more work you put in with the animal, the better you're going to do at fair kind of deal. And then once you sell it for profit and that kind of thing. So
yeah, it kind of teaches you how to be a farmer and a business person.
exactly.
Yeah, it's very cool.
No, and I can see it in my life now, like certain business aspects of it and that the, you know, profit and that kind of thing, like measuring all that stuff. That kind of thing, as I can't think of any other word that portrays it, but yeah.
You're trying to help us out. You're trying not to give it all away, and we appreciate that. That's cool. That's cool. How about you, Curtis? Like early job experience? Do you remember like things that kind of taught you business?
Let's see. My dad had owned a electrical company for my entire life. Now they're in real estate. But during summer times, I would go and work with them out in the hot sun, and so there was a lot of labor aspects of learning how to go from point A to point B with the quickest amount of time, or always looking ahead of what is next for you, or what's your next task, or what you got to do, especially if you have multiple things going on. So that taught me a lot. And then pretty much almost every single job I've had has been in the restaurant business, starting as a delivery driver all the way up to being like a server and a bar back and stuff like that.
I did a lot of serving back in my days. I didn't do any bartending or bar backing, but I was a server at the spaghetti factory. We talked about this a little bit in the last episode. And I loved it, man. I was a busser first, a couple of years doing that, and then a couple of years as a server, but it was the best, man. I mean, you know, it's low stress for one thing, right? It's cash in your pocket, and, you know, you don't have to think about that customer after you go home. But you also just got that interaction.
Interaction every time.
Yeah.
And it's a new client every single time.
Yeah, and some of them are finicky about their food. Some of them have more complaints, but some of them are like, if you feed me, I'll be nice to you.
Right.
You know,
Like, yep.
I can do that. I know where the food is.
I know how to bring it to you.
Yeah. I won't drop it, I promise. That's awesome. So as business owners, you know, we acknowledge that we're not all self-made and we didn't get here without influence. We like to give some respect to our early mentors, not necessarily the ones that got us to our current career, but some of the ones that gave us the courage and belief in the first place, you know. And, you know, it sounds like your dad definitely did, you know, in that early business for you. Any other influences for you, Laiana?
I would definitely say my parents as well. My parents are extremely supportive, have been from the very beginning. And even when it wasn't a business idea, it was just a thing that we were doing for fun, they were the ones that were there to be like, hey, you know, you could do this and we'll help you. And to this day, you know, my dad is our oldest employee, you could say. He's still a contracted employee for us to this day, and he's a very hard worker. And my parents have both always taught me to work hard and put that extra effort in. And we are trying really hard to pass it on to our kids, because as we're working, we have our own employees that are young, and we're cycling through, I should say, young employees, you know, they don't have a work ethic, and it's kind of disappointing. And so we're definitely trying really hard to instill those efforts into our own children, so that when their generation comes, they can be the ones to impress the boss, to like really show that work ethic.
And they'll be successful because of it.
Yeah, that's the end game.
Before we move on real quick,
Sure.
my mom was also a good influence, in case she watches this.
I don't want to give you out.
I don't want to get in trouble.
Gotta mention mom.
Right, yeah.
I love that. So you mentioned that you had an early job working in a restaurant. Laiana, what about you? First job experience?
It was animals always. I worked at PetSmart. I worked at a dog groomer, but I would say that the job that gave me the most, that I learned the most from, that I still use to this day, would be my barista job through Albertsons. And I was actually a manager of the Del Mar Albertsons Starbucks. And my store director taught me a lot. Her name was Shay Holden. Throw her out right there. She taught me a lot about being a boss and really, what's the right words for this? Encouraged my good managerial skills. And so I think that not only was customer service was huge, we're huge on customer service. Customers are so important. Our clients are so important to us. And, delivering that above and beyond service is really important to us. And I would say that job really solidified that for me, for sure.
What age are we talking here? Not to age you, but
we've been married 10 years. So
we have,
okay.
Yes.
20. Let's see. I would have been 25, and you would have been 4 years
21.
younger. 21.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's crazy.
Fun fact: we did meet at the same store,
Yes.
and I needed hours because I had just moved to San Diego, and I was working in the meat department. I worked pretty much all over the store, but anyways, I got into Starbucks, so she's been my boss since then.
And still.
So she proposed to you then.
But she also did teach me a lot of extra work ethic and just good keeping a smile on your face and just say yes attitude.
It's literally the Starbucks motto.
Yeah.
Just say yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay. The San Diego craft beer industry has proven to be incredibly resilient. Regardless of tier, they're following all guidelines to ensure the safety of their loyal customers and staff. They want you to feel safe coming out and enjoying a beer or picking up growlers to go. Breweries are open and welcoming guests into a sense of normalcy through a great craft brew. While resilient, the beer industry isn't immune to the effects of service limitations and decreased foot traffic. They need your help to stay open and continue serving the craft beer they're famous for. If you're looking for ways to support your favorite local brewery merchandise, canned beers, or growlers and gift cards are wonderful gifts that also give back to the breweries. And who doesn't need some extra beer around the holidays?
The last job before you got into the careers that you guys are in now, or even to start your own business, you obviously have the groundwork to running your own thing, but what was did you have any other businesses that you started on your own, or that you had ideas, they failed? I mean, because taking this leap that to get into the job that you're in now, that's a big step. And in order to be successful at it means that you may have had some failures in the past. Did you have any experiences like that?
Chimichurri Kitchen Company, how it all began. Grandma Guillermina Nina created this sauce in her own restaurant kitchen in 1967, Santa Fe, Argentina, and it instantly became a hit with patrons. They exclaimed how garlicky, tangy, and just plain delicious her version was, and luckily, it continues to be to this day. At our Chimichurri Kitchen Company, we continue in the legacy of creating sauces that only add immense flavor to any dish. The traditional classic chimichurri Nina created is made fresh with the finest ingredients, but only gets better with time as the flavors bolden on the shelf and your refrigerator. That is the true beauty of chimi sauce, our little nickname for it. Try the classic or any of our other varieties of chimis created in our own Chimichurri Kitchen. Use it as a dip, cooking sauce, marinade, or steak sauce. It will add a pizzazz of flavor to just about any dish. This year, shop small and support local. Please visit our website, chimichurrikitchen.com, to purchase and change your culinary palate forever. You can also add us on Instagram and Facebook under Chimichurri Kitchen Company. Thank you so much for supporting local and small family-owned business.
He's looking at me because I had a sewing thing on Etsy.
A sewing thing?
Yes, a thing. Yeah. No, I asked for a sewing machine for Christmas because I wanted to sew paper for scrapbooking. And when we had our son, I made his baby bedding, and I was always crafty, like into that kind of thing. You know, I'm a creative. I like to be creative. I like to do creative things. And I started this sewing business on Etsy, and it really took off. It actually replaced my managerial Starbucks income for a little bit. And it was just so much work for like hours and hours of sewing, constantly sewing. And it was fun. It definitely grew into something, but I got really bored just making the same thing over and over again. It was a high profit margin item, and it was just so boring. There was no creativity to it at all. And then at one point somebody got me to make like a stuffed animal type keepsake thing. And I did one of those, and I was like, that was really fun, like to make something new. And I still do those to this day, not really for profit, more for fun, for family and friends. And I've gotten really good at it, and I really like doing that. Okay. But again, it's those handmade items. There's just not any money in it unless Nordstrom decides to sell your stuff. So it was and it's so much time to do it. And it didn't really, I was like, I can't see myself doing this forever, you know, but it was successful for a while until the minimalism thing came in. Then I kind of lost that a little bit because it was like crib skirts and stuff. So it was extra added things for the baby's room. And once minimalism took over, those kind of things kind of went out. And then I wasn't really into progressing it to anything else because like I said, I was bored. So I just kind of was like, you know, it's time to just call this and closed down my Etsy store. And it was.
But it got her to stay home, and we didn't have to pay for childcare.
It did, yeah.
So that was a big help.
After our son
and you didn't have to pay for bed skirts.
Right.
Yeah, that too, yeah. Or baby gifts.
Right. We got a new stuffed animal for you. Yeah. That's cool. So we're going to relieve the pressure here and go ahead into our big reveal. Because the second half of the show, we really want to talk a lot about what you got going on. This is our holiday episode. Now, I didn't mention that before, but we really, we love what you guys do, and we know that you got some great ideas for us and our listeners, and so we want to bring that up to the forefront. So Curtis and Laiana, I went to an event catered by CL Catering back when networking events were in person. This was last year sometime. The event was in a strip mall that was being developed, but at that time, it was just an empty space. Their spread alone made the whole. Without their food, there would have been less to talk about and less smiles. Visit their Instagram page at CL Catering Decor while you're listening to this podcast, if you don't believe me when I say that just looking at their food can bring you satisfaction. We are so happy to talk food with Curtis and Laiana of CL Catering and Decor.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. This is a special episode. We want to talk, holiday stuff. We want to talk, because it's difficult. This is a difficult time for everybody right now, right? With the pandemic going on, things are changing. There's so much protocols involved. And some people, family members, they're not flying. They may not be able to get together. They may be doing the holidays over Zoom. And although we're recording this just before Thanksgiving, and even if this doesn't go out before Thanksgiving, then it's going to go out before Christmas and New Year's and the rest of the holidays. So we want to give people good ideas about that. But one of the things I did want to mention, though, too, after you talked about the Etsy stuff, who's the photographer?
Yeah, that'd be me, Laiana.
You haven't. That's another business in itself. You could have talked about that. If anybody is on that Instagram page right now as they're listening to this, as they should be, they will be blown away just by the pictures themselves.
Thank you. Wow. That's a big compliment. Thank you.
Seriously.
I appreciate it.
Great photography. Absolutely. So you guys have any thoughts about holiday gatherings or, how people should go about just an idea. We'll talk more about it, but just like give me a kind of general thought about the holidays and what you've been seeing and going through.
Do you know what? The first thing that comes to mind and I didn't really think about this when we originally talked about doing the podcast, but when you're talking about the Zoom holiday, which is going to be massive this year, right? Zoom's letting you do it as long as you want and all that stuff. I think a really great idea would be to make your own cheese boards and then discuss them over Zoom. Cheese boards are so fun. You just have all kinds of different stuff in there. You got jams, your cheese, your charcuterie, your different types of breads and things, throw in some pickles, some olives, and try different combinations and discuss the combinations. That's what got us into it, was like doing it and together as a date, and it was so fun.
It was so fun.
Yeah, like it was a really good time.
Like, oh, you got to try this with this with this.
I feel like, I feel like over Zoom, like it would be really fun with your family members to discuss the different combinations and really enjoy that time together. Sorry, that just kind of jumped into my head.
No, that's great.
Discussing
Genius.
it. Yeah.
idea.
Or even if you have all your family have like a list of ingredients to go get, and then everyone has kind of the same ingredients, and then you can either put it together or like make it up and then try different things.
Yeah, definitely.
Different
If you guys haven't
suggestions.
done it, get on it because
Yeah.
it is fun. Yeah, and there's a ton of options out there. You don't have to necessarily do the meat. Sometimes it's just the cheese and the fruit and the different seasonal fruits. If you put the effort into finding some really delicious seasonal fruits, that can really make or break it.
I think that's Alyssa's style right there.
Really,
She skips
really
the
is.
meat.
Yeah, I don't do meat, but you made me think. Zeke and I recently shared a cheese platter,
Right.
but it had like apples and caramel and blueberries and stuff like that.
fun.
So I got ideas.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I love that.
I want to get into more ideas, but this made me think, just holidays about the memories that you make with the people that you're spending with. So are there any memories that stand out to you that make the holidays special? Maybe a family gathering, or like you went somewhere or something like that.
I wouldn't go right away, I think, because my mind's on food now and like sharing good food with people. We have in my family, my great grandmother, we call her Gigi, has a Jell-O mold that we are actually advertising for our holiday season.
Okay.
That is just so good. It is so good that my family has to make multiple because we will eat it all. And so right away, like I just think of those moments, like going up to grandma's house in Palm Springs and, all meeting there and having those times and the moments that we no longer get. It just really just reminds me that to hold those precious moments and those people dear, and ask your grandma about her secret recipes so that you have them forever.
Yeah.
Yes,
That was
ask
something we
her.
were going to talk about. Sort of
Yes.
passing down
Make
recipes.
sure
Yes.
you grab her cookbook.
Yes, definitely. Get the cookbook, talk to them, have those conversations. And that's what it brings me to, just, remembering those that we've lost and really appreciating it. And the people that still have that opportunity, take it.
Absolutely.
Take it, grab it, and take it. Yeah.
Well, and the holidays are very much about food. I mean, as I was asking you that question, I was like, what would be one of my memories? And I'm just thinking only about food.
Yeah, right.
Because I know my family, we really get into mashed potatoes. The holidays, it's all about mashed potatoes.
Just one kind? Just a whole thing of mashed
Just
potatoes?
a whole thing of mashed potatoes.
Nothing wrong with that.
We always have to make more every year. Like my mom will say, well, that's too many potatoes. We'll have like 30 potatoes and be out in there mashing them all together and say, it's not enough. You got to put more in. And we always have leftovers, of course, but then we'll make potato pancakes or potato sandwiches or potato casserole. So it then turns into a week of potatoes, and
Yeah.
it's my favorite thing, but it's good memories.
How about you, Curtis? You got memories?
I was gonna say right now, last year right now at this time we mashed up probably, I think it was about 800 pounds of
It was a
mashed
lot of
potatoes.
potatoes.
For an
yeah,
event
you
we
should've
did out
called
in
me.
Texas, I know. That made me think about that. Memories, oh man, I think just family together. It's a big importance to me. I think that we really push for our kids to love one another, and gosh, we have so much family. We have so many great family members out there, and so just spending time and even going to clients' houses for the holiday parties and seeing the smile on their face and giving them almost that we call it the CNL signature service. This service that is we are so welcome to be into their home or to be into their venue space, wherever it is, and just that warm holiday feeling. It's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Every year I I smoke a turkey and a brisket. And I'm on the old school smoker, the manual, right? So I'm out there turning the wood, get up every half hour to an hour, and turn the wood, keep it going, check the temperature, have another drink, go back to sleep, get up in it. So it's like 18, 24 hours where I'm doing that. I haven't gotten into the pellets yet, but
It's a lot of love in that.
it's a lot of loving.
Yeah,
There's certainly, you could taste it for sure. So what do you guys, so outside of the Zoom, let's get away from the Zoom.
Okay.
It's unfortunate for the folks who have to do that, right? Who can't gather. But how about ideas for potlucks? You have, everybody's got to bring something. Do you have an approach to, like, how do you organize the proper potluck? So people everybody's not bringing mashed potatoes. I mean, Alyssa wouldn't complain.
Yeah, it's totally fine. Everyone bring a different gravy. There you go. I think definitely like making a list. Like list out the different types of items you want, how many sides you want, main courses you want, a vegetarian item, very important, and a dessert and appetizers. Make that list of the different items and then assign, hey, this is your first pick. You want main course? You want a side? Like, what do you want to bring?
Oh, you assign. Huh? You're in charge. She is the boss. Not even if you don't ask what's your specialty. You're in charge of this.
Well, I mean, they can have a little say.
Maybe ask them first what their strong suit is.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
See, he comes in. This is C
It's a
and L.
teamwork.
Yeah, that's how it works. We work better together.
That's good. How about making a spread? Like, what's the tricks to laying it all out and making it as pretty as you make it?
I would say that if you're doing like a buffet style, definitely heights. You got to have the varying heights in there. Throw a little greenery in between stuff, and they're like, mwah, there you go. You got it.
Heights?
Yeah, varying heights of the different items.
We're getting advanced here. I wasn't ready for it.
Yeah, use a couple platters to stack stuff up a little bit, or even like sometimes
even flip over a bowl that you in your cabinet.
There you go.
Use it and then put a platter on top.
Yeah, I was gonna say like sometimes we go into stuff and like families like, oh, Laiana, can you like make this better? Like, here you go. Can you just have at it? I'll just like search around the house for different items, like even like a piece of wood, a couple cutting boards, like that kind of thing. If you're laying it out on the table, like family style, garnish is everything.
Okay.
Yes.
It changes everything. Yes. Save when you make a salad. Put the salad together, toss all the ingredients, save a little bit of each ingredient to put on top of the salad. Because that's what's gonna bring it to the next level is those ingredients that have obviously been specifically placed because they look pretty.
Yes.
Yes, and make sure you have those extra herbs and a few orange slices or pomegranates, and just use those as a garnish, and that's gonna completely change your tablescape. I'm a firm believer in garnishes.
It is. Yes.
Yeah. I'm always on him. Like, you got the garnishes, right? Like, make sure you got the garnishes.
Hey, I make it taste good. She makes it look good.
That's the goal.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. I'm telling you, it looked good and tastes good at that event that I was at. Yeah. We got to do another one. I need an invite, please.
Yeah.
Please. So what about for the kids? Foods that the kids like to eat?
Mashed potatoes.
Yes. I'll be at the kids' table.
Yeah.
We make a killer mac and cheese.
Yes,
Okay.
mac and
They love
cheese, meat, just like a chicken leg. Kids love a good chicken leg. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but mac and cheese is definitely
That's
like
a handle.
our
Anything with
go-to.
a handle, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, there you
What
go.
about, because I'm a vegetarian, so with kids, like, how are you going to make them eat their vegetables? What are you going to do?
We're a little spoiled. Our
You're very
kids
spoiled.
have very expanded palates, I guess. Our youngest is just turned 8 years old, and he could eat raw vegetables all day long.
Oh.
Anything
All day long.
and everything. If
Beautiful.
he sees we're chopping stuff, he's like, can I eat that? Like, he always checks because, you never know who we're cooking for or whatever.
Sure.
And so he's like, can I eat that? And it's like, yes. And like Curtis, when he's cooking, he'll like put a little side of raw veggies to him, even if he's cooking them. Like, because he knows that Zion's going to come in and he's going to be like, okay, what can I eat? But for the other kids, ranch. I know. It's not that exciting, but
Simple solution.
yes, a cup of ranch with some veggies in it, throw a flower on top to make it look cute, and there you go.
We roast a lot of cauliflower.
Yeah,
we
we do.
love cauliflower. Roasted cauliflower with some a little bit of garlic and salt and pepper and olive oil, and roast it in the oven at like 400 for. Well, we like ours a little bit burnt.
It's better burnt.
Cauliflower?
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
got to
yeah,
have a
just a
little
little
crisp
color.
on it
Yeah.
for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So just depending on the time, like 25 to 30 minutes, and our kids eat that up. We put it on. Yesterday we're trying to do a little bit of keto going, so we did like roasted cauliflower, and it was Taco Tuesday, obviously yesterday. So, but we had some salmon. We used the cauliflower as the
Tortilla.
the tortilla.
Kind of deal. Yeah.
Oh,
So,
really?
It's not like a
it's very
folded
versatile.
tortilla, but
Yeah, not a
yeah.
folded one, but just like a
Tostada
tostada.
style.
Yes, there you go. There you go.
Okay.
Very cool.
So,
That's awesome.
Roasted cauliflower, if you guys haven't had it, like get on it. That is
Yeah.
good stuff. It's so easy. Just pop it in the oven. Don't forget the garlic. Don't forget the seasoning.
yeah.
And I could eat a whole head of cauliflower
Yeah, it's so
roasted
good.
easily. It's real good. Yeah. Any
And our
vegetables
kids love
like
it
that.
too.
Yeah, they do.
Good.
So, as you know, I work at a winery, and so I'm always, whenever I'm eating, sitting down saying, what wine would go with this? And so, as you're working with your clients, I'm assuming that they are interested in wine and those sort of things. How do you go about pairings? What pairs best with what? What's your favorite pairing? Or, where do you look for inspiration or information even about it?
Honestly, the internet for information.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to take some kind of class because I'm not very well versed. We're self-taught in everything that we do. So those are the kinds of things, like I would love to take a cheese class. I would love to take a wine pairing class to be more well versed in something like that, because I wish I could give you some better examples. I love wine, but we generally would reach out to the internet for a little bit of assistance when it would come to that.
Good. That's all right. I mean,
Nothing
there's
wrong with
nothing
the
wrong.
internet.
Yeah. I mean,
Learn something new every day.
as long as you're drinking, your food should taste good.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to drink with us. It's going to taste good.
There you go.
About the guilty pleasures, comfort foods, things like that. Like, what's your guilty pleasures? out
Oh,
there?
geez. Guilty pleasure. Oh, I could eat tacos every single day.
Taco week.
Yeah. Laiana makes a scratch oatmeal cookie with a cream cheese frosting, and they're like the
Like a Little Debbie's. I
Little
think.
Debbie,
Makes
those
the
oatmeal
cream
cookies.
sandwiches.
Those are good.
Gosh. She's only made them, I think, 2 or
Couple
3
times,
times,
yeah.
but she can't make them just for the fun of it, because I will devour them.
Yeah. Anybody
They're really
who's
good.
anybody who's not on YouTube watching this right now, Curtis's eyes just rolled behind his head.
Yeah, those are real good.
Yeah, they're good.
Good. How about are you guys travelers? Are there places that you've been where you've either gotten inspired about food or just scared of, like you tasted some things and like, what was that, or why did we eat that, or anything like that?
We're not big travelers. We wish we were, for
wish we
sure.
were.
But yeah, we haven't really been around to too many places. But what definitely comes to mind is Curtis loves hockey. And one of his favorite players, Teemu Selanne with the Ducks, has a
He's
restaurant.
retired now, but
Has a restaurant out in like Orange County area.
yeah, Laguna Beach.
Love
Orange
Laguna
County.
Beach.
Yeah.
And it's called
yeah,
Teemu
yeah.
Selanne, is his name. And that was one of the first places we went that we had like a really high end cheese board with like pate on it and things like
Okay.
like, you know, fancy mustards and fancy little pickles and things. And so that was like one of our first real experiences, trying something like really fancy and just being like, oh wow, this was really fun. Like this was a good time. But no, we're not huge travelers. I wish we were.
But there are other cuisines that you've had, I'm sure.
Oh,
and
yeah.
something you've pulled from different cuisines. You're not cooking just all American food at all
Right.
times,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
What other cuisines are there that you really, other than Mexican food, obviously for Curtis, what other cuisines do you like pull from that you really enjoy?
You know what? I would say Curtis is the chef. We need to state that. And I do a lot of the baking, but he does most of the chefery cooking. Curtis can take any type. This is amazing. He probably doesn't want me to say this, but I'm going to. He can take anything. If you're saying, oh, I'm craving this, and turn it into, put his own spin on it. And he might not have any experience making that cuisine, and it's going to be bomb. I
Yeah.
can tell you this. Like, he's a natural at what he does, and it's very impressive. And I'm always like, amazed. Somebody wants a certain type of food and he's like, okay, no problem, I'll make that, and just puts his own spin on it. It's
Yeah.
not exactly that cuisine.
Sure.
It's that cuisine with Curtis's spin on it.
Elevator.
Yeah.
He's the elevator. He's
Yes,
elevating.
yes, and
Yeah.
it's so good. It's really impressive. That's We wouldn't be here without that. Okay. What he's able to do. Yeah, he's really
wouldn't
good.
have made it the whole 10 years without that. That's how I see how you keep it. So are there other cuisines that you are really interested in or inspired by, or is it just you just take like those cooking shows where they just throw ingredients at you and you just go for it?
That's what I like to do.
That's your style.
Yeah, when you were saying about traveling and stuff, like I feel like I travel through cooking shows and watching all different types, not just one in specifically, but thinking, or I'll see something and be like, oh my gosh, I want to recreate that, or I want to put a spin on that, or I'll constantly like take a picture of the TV and send it to her, like, oh, I'm going to redo this.
Yeah,
you know?
That's awesome. I mean, because like some of these places, Argentina with the chimichurri, you got like, so there's the seasonings are coming from everywhere, right? The cardamom was India, or like there's so many different things coming in from different places, and to be able to use all of those, first of all, you definitely have to have an expanded palate, because you have to be careful. You can overuse this, or some of these things don't go together, or whatever. I don't know. I'm pretending to be a professional.
No. Yeah, totally,
I'm really just fishing for information.
You're making sense.
I think there was only one. I would try pretty much if I went anywhere in the world. I would try everything. There was maybe I don't remember. There was I can't remember. And the guy said it tasted like a wet diaper. And I was like, okay, it was a food that he was eating.
Wasn't it a fruit or no?
No, it was something. I can't even remember what show it was now. I'm sorry. But I was like, okay, that's the one and only thing I would not want to try.
Yeah.
At least they give you a warning. Like,
I know.
Yeah. No thanks, I'll pass.
Yeah. North County Daily Star is the leading source for news and community information. There are 650,000 residents along the 78 corridor in 5 unique cities that share the region, North County, San Diego. We work and play in these cities, so we are all interested in what happens in our common region. There is no cost to subscribe, and it is continuously updated. So look for us on your mobile device or computer at ncdailystar.com.
So with specific requests, a lot of people will want vegan, gluten-free. I'm going to be the annoying one with vegetarian. How do you submit to those requests and stay creative with it and keep the flavors?
We're always down for a challenge.
Yeah.
Always.
And you would never be annoying.
No.
To us.
That's good to hear.
Yeah.
That's good to hear.
We are custom in everything we do. So
yes.
If someone has a special request, we make it happen.
We recently did a small dinner party where it was very restricted, including no garlic, no onion. Which we cook with garlic. We're heavy garlic cookers. It's real good. I like it.
I'm a heavy garlic eater.
Yeah. It's good.
Ignoring squills and warning lights on your car is not a good way to lower the cost of owning it. And going without essential business insurance is not a good way to save money in your business. What we know for sure is doing either will cost you more than you will save in the short and the long run. With YourInsurancePlace.com, you can trust a specialist to help maintain your cars and avoid major expenses. Business owners should look to business insurance specialists when it comes to finding competitively priced, quality insurance coverage for their businesses. At YourInsurancePlace.com, we specialize in workers' compensation, general and professional liability, employment practices and cyber liability, property owner policies, and bonds for most types of businesses. YourInsurancePlace.com knows that we can help. If you're uncovered, need to lower the cost of your current insurance, or need better coverage, we can help. YourInsurancePlace.com has been helping businesses for close to 40 years. If you need a quote on your insurance, call us now at 858-569-8100 or find us at YourInsurancePlace.com. We are business insurance specialists ready to help.
And so we were a little nervous going into it about having to, take out this ingredient that we use pretty heavily and we rely on. And at the end of the event, they were like, this was so good. This was some of the best food we've ever had. And only one person had that restriction. So to hear that from the people that didn't have that restriction, we were like, okay, we pulled it off. And we tried it and we're like, oh, this is really good. Like, I'm really impressed that I didn't do much but make it look cute. I was really impressed that he was able to pull it off and have it be really flavorful and delicious. Like, that's just a gift right there. Yeah. I don't.
Okay.
But since you're talking, why don't you talk desserts? Now, you said you do some of the baking. What desserts would be good for these holiday gatherings at this time?
Anything chocolate.
Yeah.
Yeah, throw the chocolate in there, throw the caramel, throw the sea salt, put that all together, and you got something yummy. Layer something. If you can make a shortbread at the bottom, layer it with some chocolate, some caramel, maybe throw some nuts in there if you're feeling it. Don't forget the salt. A little sea salt goes a long
little
way.
sea
salt on top, yeah.
Salt and vanilla. Salt and real vanilla. Very important, yes.
Oh, the real vanilla.
Yeah, the real
Okay.
stuff.
Not the
Yeah.
extract. You want the
Yes,
Right.
it can be the real extract, just not
Okay.
the imitation stuff, because that stuff would taste fake, and you can taste it when you eat it, like it tastes fake. So use quality ingredients. Always use quality ingredients. If you want to have something that people are talking about, and they're like, "This is so good, I'm still thinking about it," later on, use those quality ingredients, and you're going to get that reaction for sure.
Okay. I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit because now you have my mind working of what am I going to do next week for Thanksgiving? And so my brother and I were both vegetarian and he's leaning towards vegan. Do you have any suggestions for a vegetarian/vegan Thanksgiving? You know, we're going to not do the turkey. What are we going to do?
Oh, instantly I go to my very favorite. This is one of my favorite appetizers, hands down. Any like vegan, whatever, it doesn't matter. We make these yam discs, which again, season. Don't forget to season.
So
olive
discs?
oil. Discs, yeah. So like take a yam, cut it into slices like
yeah.
discs, and then make sure you season those and let them sit with some olive oil, salt and pepper. If you want to throw some herbs in there, you can. And saute those, right? Is that the right word,
roast,
chef?
roast.
Thank you. Maybe you should take over.
Did you say you can throw some ribs in there?
No,
No.
herbs.
Herbs.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I'm sorry.
like-
You're like, this has got
Sounds good.
vegan.
And put it on a cookie sheet and roast it in the oven, and then we shave Brussels sprouts. We have a coconut cream, so that's vegan. And fresh pomegranate seeds. You can either crack your own or they come in jars, so that's easier to do.
Pepitas.
And roasted salted pepitas over the top, and it's a quick and easy appetizer to have.
Looks pretty too.
It looks pretty and
Yeah,
it
okay.
tastes
Sounds like a lot
so
of colors.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's real good. And don't
Yeah.
forget to season. It's vitally important to have. If you're gonna have good food, you're seasoning everything. You're seasoning the Brussels sprouts separate of the yam disc, because once you put all that stuff together, that's when you get the wow, that was really good. If you forget to season, you're gonna lose that reaction for sure.
Okay.
One of my favorite things is butternut squash. We cook with a lot of butternut
Yeah.
squash. And to do different things with that, there's a whole bunch of variations you can use. We did a kombucha squash. I'm sorry, it wasn't a kombucha. It was an acorn squash that you can stuff, with veggies, or you can stuff with a whole bunch of, I don't know, different things that doesn't include meat, and roast that. And it's, those are
That was really good.
really good and really flavorful.
You stuff it and roast it whole.
Yeah. Well, in half, cut it in half and then stuff each half.
Okay.
We've done it with like quinoa.
And you know what? A really good ingredient that we discovered that goes really well with the squashes is maple syrup.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I've
throw
done
some
that.
maple syrup in there. Yeah, we have something on our holiday menu that's like the butternut squash layered with pancetta, but just take the
don't have
pancetta
to
out if you don't want it.
yeah.
Apples and then the maple syrup and seasoning. Don't forget the seasoning.
Candy pecans.
Yes, and sprinkle some candy pecans on there. It's real good. Good
The maple
stuff.
syrup is we got bourbon barreled aged pure maple syrup.
Oh yeah, again, quality
Yeah,
ingredients.
Quality ingredients.
Those
Spend
those
the extra
things,
money
yeah.
to get a little bit better syrup. Makes a whole big difference.
Well, there's my Thanksgiving.
Yeah, my sister's vegan. I might have to try one of these. That I really like. I like that a lot. So, have you guys noticed the uptick in all the new chefs now? Everybody's quarantine cooking, so everybody's learning things. I mean, they're making bread. Everybody's gotten some ideas of things that they're good at. I was listening to a podcast today, and she's like, "Now I've learned how to make the best cast iron ribeye in the world." Like, she's just done it so many times since being in quarantine. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, and I think it's awesome. I think back when I was younger, and even Laiana when she was younger, and those home cooked meals, you don't really see too much anymore. You see a lot of people busy throughout the day, and I'm not trying to take away from other companies, but like people are going with Uber Eats and just getting deliveries to their home because they're not taking that time to put on the table a home cooked meal.
Right.
And so when people are doing that because they're almost forced to, I think it's awesome.
Yeah, and it brings the family together too. I mean, and obviously it's done that with you guys and your kids. You know, he's like, what are you cutting up there? Let me taste some of that,
right,
you
right.
know, and then the finished product on the table. And now look, because you're always making it, they like vegetables. They, you know, they're into what it is that you make.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the first questions out of his mouth. Dad, what's for breakfast? And then when it's like lunchtime, it's like, what are we gonna have for dinner? It's like a constant thought process, which I don't know. We love, and we're very blessed to have.
He's definitely a little foodie. Our 8-year-old, for his birthday, he always wants octopus or squid. That's
Wow.
For years, like since his 4th birthday, it's octopus or squid. Like it's one of his favorite things to eat. He likes cooking it because it moves it's not alive when you put it, but when you cook it, it moves. Like its muscles retract. Yeah. He just loves it. He'll just chomp them down. It's kind of crazy, I know.
And her daughter's palate too. She's 14, and
it's expanding for sure.
Her palate is expanding like crazy. She's getting into the sushi and the raw
poke bowls.
Yeah, poke bowls and just all different things, and so that's really cool too.
And she's always willing to try stuff. We try and teach our kids. Like even myself, you know, there are things that I didn't like a few years ago that I'll still try every time it's presented to me, because you never know when your palate's going to expand, or maybe you just like it prepared differently.
Sounds like Alyssa with rosé.
Oh, yeah.
I will always try rosé. I have yet to find one that I like.
Oh, wow.
So tell me about the foods, though, Laiana. What food is it that you tried now in your current life that you didn't like before?
That's a good question. I would steer clear of cooked fish for some reason.
Cooked fish?
Yeah.
You preferred raw fish?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know what it is. It's just something about maybe the smell. I'm not really sure, but I naturally kind of am not interested.
Okay.
But I've definitely expanded my palate when it comes to cooked fish with how we cook, and I actually really like it now. Yeah, I'm a lot more open to trying things. I'm not crazy about the octopus. I'll be honest.
Me either.
It's not my favorite. But the boys are into it. So,
Cool.
I feel like there's something else, but I can't put my finger on it.
Jeez.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean,
can't
cauliflower. We used to never eat cauliflower.
Yeah, that's true.
And then when we did that, now we're all about it.
Yeah, we even use it as a substitute for a grain. Like if we're gonna make like a pesto risotto, we've made pesto cauliflower. Like cut
I've
the
seen
risotto
people do that
out.
for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Cauliflower is really. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people have heard this, but it's really versatile. You can do a lot with it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it doesn't. The flavor is not too robust, so it kind of takes on whatever you make it, right?
Yeah. As long as you season the base.
You got to season. Season.
I'm gonna
If
hammer
anybody
that
learned
into all the
anything
viewers
today,
here, the listeners. Yeah.
season your food.
That's right. So let's take it back to your business and what you do with the C&L catering and decor. Did you always want to own your own business?
No, that definitely was not. That was never on the table.
Fell into our laps.
Yeah, pretty much. We actually, when I was pregnant with our son and we had a baby shower, we had looked into catering and it was really expensive. And we're like, really expensive for where we were in our life at that moment. And so we decided, he's like, I love to cook. He was doing it as for fun, like always like, oh, what am I going to make? I'm looking forward to what am I going to make? And I styled a table and he made the food, and it was a huge success. All the food was good. It looked beautiful. People were like, who catered this? Like, can I get a business card?
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, well, maybe we could do this. Yeah. So we just kind of started playing with it and expanding our possibilities, and got into doing a little bit of floral, which kind of then opened up the door for decor, and it opened up the door for the idea of C&L Catering and Decor. We struggled with a name so hard for our company, and then finally we're just like, since it's the two of us, why don't we just call it C&L? Like, it kind of flows, it works. But yeah, so it's the idea that we can bring everything to the table, literally and figuratively. If you want us to style your table, we got you. If you want a backdrop or a floral arrangement, we got you. And that's something we love to be able to provide. Yeah.
Do you have other chefs in the family? Like, are you competing family chefs, or do you have to cook everything for everybody?
Oh, Curtis is cooking everything for me.
Yeah. I mean, both of our moms, they're really good cooks, and both of our dads are great on the grill. So, I don't know. I think growing up in my life, I always had just, they weren't anything super fancy, but they were always meals that were nourishing and you remember them constantly. And I think same thing with Laiana growing up. She had the same thing.
Yeah.
So. But now that, oh my gosh, excuse me. Now, I think people trump the bits, like, do we get to go over to their house?
They want us to cook at this point. Yeah.
But it's fun to get into the kitchen with everyone and work all together. And I don't know, we enjoy it.
Yeah, I like it.
I want to say this is cool because we usually get down to, with the Same Business Different Day podcast, we usually get the inspirations early. We find out how you got to where you are. There's so many businesses out there. Some of them are doing the same things, but they all have different paths to how they got to where they are today, right? Some of it, it could have been handed to you. You could have inherited it. Some of it, you just kept trying and failing, and then one day, boom, it happened for you, right? But it took until we got to about this point when we finally realized that what you're doing today fell into your lap. And so the goal here is always to inspire the entrepreneurs. That's what we're doing. That's what this is all about, is telling people you can do it. You can have your own business. You can run your own thing. If you have an idea in the back of your head, take the leap, right? And here you are doing a baby shower, and suddenly it's all coming together. Your talents are all coming together. Great chef, you know how to put it all together and make it look amazing. And I'm telling you, both of you are elevating everything when it comes to your skills. So I'm glad that we got to that. And I think that's really awesome. Now, early on, though, you mentioned something about what you guys are doing for the holidays, with the catering business, different types of dishes or anything. Are there any specials that you guys have going on over the holidays that our guests should know about?
We introduced what we call a charcuterie.
Okay.
And so it's a brie wheel that we've shaped into a reef that we are then styling on top of. And I don't want to pat myself on the back or anything, but it's really beautiful. I was really impressed. I was like, oh, wow, that looks real nice. But we've gotten a lot of great feedback from it since we released it. And so that's definitely something we're pushing for the holidays. Another thing is, we go back to, we're a custom caterer. Do you have something that you've missed from your childhood, like a meal, a certain item that you're craving that you don't feel like you can pull off? Like, reach out to us, give us, we've literally had people give us their family recipes and say, can you recreate this? And we will then recreate it for them. And we love that kind of stuff. We love bringing that personal touch to it. And tell us what you're craving. Like, let us know what you're craving and let us bring it to you.
Yeah, we'll make up a menu, or they'll give us their ideas and themes, and we'll come up with a menu with them. And then from there, they kind of pick through the menu and say, okay, well, let's adjust this, let's add this, or take away this. And by the end, they have the perfect menu for them. And then we go from there and execute it.
Yeah. At the same time, we are also advertising like a few holiday meals, like all together meals that we can do. Like I said, we are doing like my Gigi's Jello mold, elevated a little bit, but we kind of build a menu around that, and then we'll be advertising it. But if there's something in particular you want, that's our favorite thing, is to bring something to the table that you've been craving or you want, or you've seen somewhere and you really want to bring it to this holiday function or whatever, like we're happy to bring that and help you to succeed in that.
That's awesome. You know, and you know, we want to wish everybody happy holidays, everybody who's listening, and I hope you take on some of this information, because I know I will. And we really want to thank you guys for being here.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, thanks for having us. It was really fun.
No, this was awesome.
Yeah.
Let's give some contact info.
If you would like to get in touch with Curtis and Laiana at C&L Catering and Decor, you can find them on their website at clcateringco.com or on Facebook, C&L Catering and Decor. Also on Instagram at CL Catering Decor. Thank you both for being here. This was fun.
Thank you guys.
It was, yeah.
All right. We did it.